I wouldn't say we made it, but we made it through. We just had moves to make, and we made them do it. I wouldn't say we made it, but we made it through. We just had moves to make, and we made them do it. I wouldn't say we made it.
Hey guys, I hope you are good. I've been meaning to do this video for quite a while now, and that's due to the fact that it is up there with one of the biggest challenges that my female clients have when it comes to weight loss, dropping body fat, getting leaner and stronger, and all that kind of good stuff that you see the team achieving. Now that is the menstrual cycle. And the main thing I want you to take away from this video is that for me, all females should understand, manage and prepare for that menstrual cycle in regards to going through a phase where you're exercising, monitoring your weight, chasing goals down, like I just said, dropping body fat, getting stronger. So the basics, the menstrual cycle on average is 28 days long. It's split into two phases. So the first phase is the follicular phase, and the second phase is the luteal phase, and right in the middle is ovulation. Now, very generally speaking, when it comes to gym performance, cravings, good feedback from lifting weights and all that, you're going to get a better response during that first phase. You get a testosterone spike leading up to the ovulation phase right in the middle. So that's when you're going to be feeling good, bags of energy, potentially at your strongest, and cravings aren't really there. Your body weight is an honest reflection of where it is in terms of where what you've been doing for the past few months in terms of calories in versus calories out. And then the luteal phase is where generally a lot of women experience the PMS issues, and that's where things get tough, such as cravings, low energy, body weight holding or even going up, gym performance not fantastic, quite extreme cravings with some. So as you can imagine, that obviously is a very tough section of that monthly cycle. So as I said at the beginning, understand, manage, prepare. So that's the understand. For me, managing that monthly cycle, again, in regards to what we're trying to achieve here, where we're dropping body fat, etc. Have a think about this. This is for people that really struggle at that back end in that luteal phase where you have been known to go off plan, think fuck it, I'm starving, I'm having a bottle of wine, the Chinese, and I'm not exercising, and you do so much damage during that phase that it reverses what you did potentially in the follicular phase where you could have worked hard, got yourself into a good position. So for me, preparing for that feeling, again, if I'm speaking to you here, think about pushing hard in that follicular phase in the first half of that monthly cycle. So doing all the right things, potentially going more aggressive than you probably would on your calories, nothing extreme, but basically recognizing that's where you're going to be at your best. Cravings are probably at the lowest, energy is probably at the highest, strength could be at the highest, and that's when you're gonna, if there's ever going to be a time where you're able to push hard, generally speaking, it's highly likely it's going to be that phase. So how about go quite tough during that phase, but then pulling back a little bit during the back end of the luteal phase where you're going to struggle, where body weight's a little bit skew-if and you're hungry. So potentially, like for example with calories, as I just said there, cut a little bit deeper than you normally would in that first phase. And then in that second phase, put a few calories back in. Now, something to bear in mind, guys, is that women on average burn more calories just at rest during that luteal phase than they do in the follicular phase. Anything from 100 to 300 calories a day more at rest. So if we think about the energy balance and how that works, if you're expending more calories, you can therefore eat more calories and get similar results. So again, this isn't a message to say go to shit and take the piss, not at all. But it's something to bear in mind. How about we dig hard first half, second half, notice, you be aware of what's coming in terms of the feeling, the cravings, and putting more food in. Just bump up, say, calories by 100 to 200 a day and see where you go. That way you're mitigating that risk of getting into the position where you're starving, you're still trying to work out and expect to be feeling like you were feeling a couple of weeks ago, and it's just not happening. Then you just hit that wall and you think, forget this. and then you come back round to day one of your cycle again, where the luteal phase is gone, you're feeling good again, but unfortunately, because you've gone so far off plan during that back end of the cycle, that you're kind of back to square one to where you probably was the month previous, which obviously isn't great. So that's something to think about in terms of preparing for it, and in terms of managing it. So when you're in the thick of it, for me, if you're someone that gets very caught up in what the scales are saying, even during that phase, then with some of my ladies, I just say, don't weigh yourself then. Just don't. I am a big fan of weighing and weighing often, because I think it keeps you accountable. For me, it's like checking your bank balance. You need to know what's going on. Generally speaking, people don't want to weigh themselves when they know they haven't been working hard. Now, I know that isn't everyone. I've got plenty of males and females that work hard all the time, still don't like weighing themselves. So I do get it. But if you're someone during that phase that struggles, because I do understand it isn't very fair, the reading on that scale is not a reflection of what, your performance to that point in the month. It really is hormones taking over and your body preparing for a possible pregnancy, because that's basically what is happening. So a couple of things is, don't weigh yourself. Don't get caught up with how you feel. Look in the mirror, because you can be holding more water. As I said previously, eat more food, eat good food, whether it's 200, 300 calories coming from fruit, for example, that can help. And again, that is all about managing that tough section of the cycle, and knowing that it's kind of like we're going into this and we've got a battle plan. We know it's going to be tough. We know the scales are not going to be a true reflection of our effort and performance to date. We also know our energy isn't a true reflection of our health, say. It's just something we need to go through as a female. And it's really just riding that wave until you get back round to day one of your cycle, or the first few days of that cycle. And that's when you'll get your rewards. That's when your body weight settles down, your energy comes back, and then we can start saying, okay, what's the body weight doing here? And generally speaking, that's where, as I said previously, you're going to get your rewards for how you manage the back end of that monthly cycle there and then. So, as I say, I don't want to keep repeating myself. Understand it, prepare for it, think about your workouts and your calories throughout that month, potentially dig harder in the first half, and then sort of batten down the hatches in the second half, eat a little bit more food, don't put too much pressure on yourself, potentially don't weigh yourself if you really get caught up in that emotional attachment to the scales, and then manage it while you're in it. Just recognise, I know this is tough, it's a reason why it's tough, this happens every month, and how am I going to feel in, say, 7 to 10 days time? Do I want to be back to square one because I let it get the better of me, or do I want to be reaping the rewards for the plan and the execution of how I've dealt with the luteal phase this time round? I hope that's helpful, guys. For some people, I'm sure you might be well aware of everything I've said there, and it may be obvious to some, others maybe not. I know a lot of my females are somewhere between, when they come to me, not really fully understanding the implications. They're aware that it's tough. They're aware that the body weight goes a little bit all over the place, but they've certainly never really prepared or managed it very well. So I hope that's helpful for people that's watching. If you think your friends would benefit from watching this video, then please share it to your story. It would mean a lot to myself. And we'll leave it there, guys. Thank you very much.